right. Sorry about the delay. We had a movie we had to watch and it ran over. My name is Bruce, and with me today is my lovely co host, Janet from another planet, who looks better without the
Wow,
scarf. We
this
get
is
it.
too hot. I'm sweaty. I've been
Yeah,
wearing it for the whole movie.
when wearing it, you could have been in a towel the whole movie. We wouldn't have known.
Well, I know, but I was wearing it, getting ready because I don't have time to get ready after. I have to get ready before we watch it.
True.
So, and they're
Hello.
all messy anyway. So,
Our good friends are in the chat. Six Nation 31 King says, "Oh yeah, let's go, Brandon." And the Crafting Gamer says, "Hi all." Hey, Crafting Gamer, how are you today, sir? Hopefully you're doing fantastic today. I'm going to put some paint on some more of those killer cans you sent me. Um, we watched a movie called Thelma and Louise, a movie that I had successfully avoided until Janet came in my life.
it wasn't too bad. I've seen way worse. Believe me.
I've seen way worse too. As a point of sadness, earlier this weekend, earlier on Thursday, I believe, we lost a legend in the film community. Roger Corman passed at the distinguished age of 98. His body said no mas, no mas, and he's out. And many of the films he made are movies that I would not recommend out of respect to my friend Janet. Now there are some Hammer films that Janet will be watching in the future
Yeah.
because there's just nothing wrong with Hammer films. You really can't go wrong with them, in my opinion. But a lot of Roger Corman films I stay away from. But I liked a lot of his work. Battle Beyond the Stars, which had a reused soundtrack from a few different places. That was one of my childhood favorites growing up. A David Mendenhall classic. He was legendary for B films. He did the original Little Shop of Horrors, which is
Yeah.
one of my favorite remakes of all time. Although that's one of those movies I don't watch because every time I watch it, something bad happens, or at least that's how it used to work when I was a young kid. But I was also a kid that would lie to his parents about his grades, and
Mhm.
then the report card would come, and then like, well, you're grounded for the next 90 days, and that's what happened with me. Oh, by the way, for all you ladies in the chat, for all those of you that have used your memories in the way that God intended, happy Mother's Day.
That's right. Today is Mother's Day, isn't it? Yeah. Today's also my mother's birthday. Or would have been if she was still alive.
Oh, we know she's watching you up in heaven.
But yeah, I sure miss her. Make sure you guys give your moms hugs and kisses today.
Yeah.
Tell them you love them. Words mean more than anything. So, especially when you mean it.
And oddly enough, on this Mother's Day, Janet decides to have me watch Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, because it's a woman's movie. It's a movie about women that can kick ass when they're pushed into it. That's basically what this movie's about. It's about women who are make bad decisions because of the situations they're in.
This
And
movie is all about that.
yeah, and they were best friends. Okay, one was very neat and tidy, and a hard worker, and the other one was a housewife. They had a husband that treated her like shit, and she was mousy and wouldn't talk back to him, and she just took whatever bullshit he'd throw at her, and she would just be the good woman, And then she was once all her buttons were pushed and she was pushed over the edge, she started making bad decisions.
Her
But
buttons
she
got
enjoyed it. She
completely.
enjoyed some of them. Mm-hmm. Do
He
what?
pushed her buttons completely in. He really
Mm-hmm.
did.
Yeah, he treated
And
her bad. He had it made too. He had a good woman, and so many men that want a woman like her can't get one because by the time they meet those women, they're already tainted where they don't trust anybody anymore. That's the bad. I hate to say that, but that's what happens to most people. They get in a relationship with the bad person, and then men and women they get a bad partner, and then the next thing you know, they're not in that relationship anymore. But now they can't have another relationship because they don't trust anybody. They don't want to go down that road again.
It's the thrust battery has been drained.
Yeah.
A lot of times it doesn't charge right after that. It just completely. If I ever see another red flag, I'm out. You know, and that
Well,
happens.
it's just that they've been burned. They don't want to get burned again. They don't want to be burned twice.
Well, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. I'm just going to say that like a lot of people don't ever focus on themselves and figure out like maybe I should work on myself and do some studies. And why do I always get attracted to dirt bags with fucking with mullets? And
Yeah, I don't
that
know.
was a
I think it's just terrible. But I want one thing I wanted to look up, but I didn't get a chance. Was how much did it cost to make this movie? Do you know?
I'll find out here in a couple minutes, in a
Because
couple
it
seconds.
says because it went against like a bunch of really good movies at the same time that came out. It said it only grossed 43.3 million.
I want to say it was like 16, yeah, $16.5 million was a budget, and it brought in almost 45 and a half. So
Yeah,
that's really not bad, considering this is back in 1991 when the standard
yeah,
wage for minimum wage. Okay, this is not your average individual. This is your 16-year-old flipping fries that deserves is $2.95. That was the average wage back then for your 16-year-olds that went to go see movies.
yeah,
And this movie was, I think it was rated R at the time.
yeah. And how much were movies back then? Like $2.50 or something? Really
We
cheap?
we protested when they went up to $5, and that was right about the time that Terminator 2 was in the theater. And I was like, but it's really not bad because it's only 250 for an hour, and that's really good value on your money. I mean, you could, my buddy Richard, he had just came back from Norfolk, and he's talking about how he was dropping $50 bills a night on strip joints. And I'm like, how long are you staying there? About 3 hours. And all do you get off? No. Okay, so you get to have a blue balls, and then you go back to the ship filled with men. That just sounds gay. Levels of gay I don't even want to think
What
about.
I don't understand is why not call a place and set up some hookers? At least you're gonna get laid. And then you take the hooker and you
Maybe
go
if
to a
we're
bar and you get drunk and drink, and then you dump her off wherever you picked her up, and then you go back to the ship. You got lucky and you got to go get drunk.
we were renowned sailors for being able to go and procure hookers if we actually needed them. I mean, most Navy sailors know the dance. They know the verbal routine you must engage in for you to gain yourself some horizontal refreshment. That's just how it works. Ugh.
Well, the thing is with this movie, the reason I like it. Okay, I like this movie. I thought the actors were phenomenal. All the actors that were in this movie, they portrayed their characters
Yeah,
to
the
the.
performances were great.
I mean, they were very believable. Every single one, I thought. And the guy that played her husband, what was his name again? Um, uh, damn it. Christopher McDonald.
Yeah, that was Daryl.
Yeah, Daryl. Okay. He did a great job at being a total asshole. Just a total douchebag husband that has everything in a woman, a good looking housekeeper, cooking. I mean, everything that all these men always say they want, right? But he has it and he doesn't give a fuck. He never comes home. He just tells it, bosses her around. And even when she left him, look what she did. She set a beer there in front of the microwave with a note and a little love heart teddy bear on the top of the beer. Because when they were going, they weren't expecting to go and have a problem. They were just going to spend 2 days at a cabin. That was it. And fish a little and talk and laugh and smoke, maybe smoke some pot. They were just going to have friends. They're best friends,
And I find it like
that was it.
Daryl. Chris McDonald played Daryl. He played a really good Daryl, I might say.
Yeah, I
And
thought it was excellent.
he stayed in character when he fell on those wood planks right next to his vet.
I mean, everything. I mean, he was just a smart ass piece of shit. And he had it made because, like she said, they dated for 4 years before they got married. He probably treated her so good. before the ring went on. As soon as the ring went on, it's like I talked about many times. It's like we all of a sudden go into mode where, okay, they can't no longer be attracted to anyone else. So I got to make her as unattractive as possible so no one else will want her. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, and I think it's stupid. I mean, you should keep your friends. You should still go play golf. You should still go to the range. You should still fish. You still camp. Do all the things that you did before you got married. Because what made you fall in love in the first place? Why take away everything that you cared about the person when you met them, right? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. But that to me was typical. Nice mousy girl that married a guy right out of high school, didn't know shit. He was the only guy she'd ever been with. That's why when you saw her come to the table in the morning in the cafe after she'd been romping around in the hotel room with Brad Pitt, right? And yeah, Brad Pitt was cute as a bug, but the thing is, it wasn't that. It was the way he treated her. He treated her like she was the center of the universe that whole night. He threw her all around the room, and he went up and down and wherever he could go, whatever, you know what I mean, adventure wise in the sex realm, whatever. And she was floored because you saw her the next morning. She was just glowing. She was so happy, and she was like, "Oh my God!" It was and then Susan Sarandon told her, "So yeah, you finally got laid proper, whatever."
She got put
It
down
was
like a board.
great because that's exactly when I hanged out with all my girlfriends and we'd go on trips or whatever. That's exactly what we do. We sing, we dance, we laugh, we tell jokes,
Find a
and we
hitchhiker.
talk about good-looking guys. That's why I said women are not that much different than guys, and if they aren't acting like that, they're probably not someone I'd want to hang out with. Because it was fun, we didn't have a good time. But
Major's musings. I'll just front load all this. I was content with giving the movie a 60% to the last 30 seconds of the film when
he
the
hated
movie
the ending.
whenever they plummeted off the cliff at the very end and it went white. I didn't see the car explode and mannequin parts fly everywhere. I didn't see Harvey Keitel as as Jimmy, or not Jimmy, but Hal, and Stephen Tobolowsky as Max. I didn't see those two get into an adult male screaming match, or maybe Hal punches Max, but there's not the script just stopped right there, and they stopped, and the movie
They showed
completely
you them two hanging
died.
out and doing fun things together. That's what they
And
showed.
they
Because you knew they were
completely
dead.
this movie, like, I was content with giving it a 60% because I like the characters. I don't like their decisions. I don't like the script. The script is just a series of poor decisions, and the very end is kind of weak on a lot of aspects, in my opinion. But there's some really good things that do happen in this movie, and the photography of this movie.
Oh,
This
I love
movie could sell any American to move to Utah or to Northern Cali and enjoy life in those locations, because this movie is a travel agent's dream. Very few movies do justice to the American scenic routes, okay? In fact, there needs to be a good Route 66 travel film redone here soon, because there's a lot of America that you get to see from Chicago down to LA, and you get to
Yeah.
see every aspect of it, from the fruited plains to the rolling mountains to the sandy caliche of New Mexico. It's just amazing to look at, and I think we need a good road movie. This isn't the last good road movie that I've seen, but it's the one that everybody talks about because it covers so much. But
Well, it's two best friends that keep making bad decisions, but it's not just one making the bad decision. You see what I mean? It's two
Mhm.
different people making bad decisions, and one covering for the other one because they're best friends and they love each other. I'm not
Stephen
saying
Hill,
sexually. They
Stephen
love
Hill
each other because they're friends.
says, "Ooh, keep that hair, Janet." Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I had a cover over it. I had it covered up like like she had
Yeah,
at the very
Janet
beginning.
just doesn't understand how much of a smoke show she is. She really doesn't.
I had it like this. I was like trying to
Don't
tie
do
it up
that.
because that's what they were
You're
doing.
not a Muslim. Take that shit off.
Well, that's what I did. I took it off. But the thing is that like at the very beginning, when they're going along, her Louise is trying to get her friend to relax and just you know relax and enjoy themselves because she's so uptight, afraid to make a mistake because she had a husband that was overbearing and wouldn't let her do anything, and she basically stayed home and cooked and cleaned and waited on him, and then she'd lay in bed at night alone because he wouldn't come home on Friday night, right? So she, she was just trying to get her to have a good time, and she wanted to do it with her because that's her best friend. Okay, so that whole thing was I thought was really, really, really good, and I've seen that in real life, because I have 4 sisters, so I basically have 4 best friends, that I can do different things with, but they're all different. They all have different personalities. They enjoy different music. We enjoy different drinks, different food, all those things. So I could put myself in that seat in that car with them, you know what I mean, and understand where they're both coming from. But then when they decide they're going to stop, because she said it's going to be late before they even get to the cabin, so she says, well, let's stop, I just want to have a drink, I want to have a little fun or whatever. So she said, what the hell. So they go in, and the very first person that approaches them at the table is the asshole. And if they were smart, okay, they would have listened to their gut, because remember, Louise didn't like him. You could tell by the way she was talking to him that she knew he was full of shit. Okay. And it was from her past experiences that we didn't really find out everything about, but we find out later that she was raped in Texas. That's why she doesn't want to go back to Texas, that type of thing. But we don't know. Her assault was way different than what happened to her friend. I mean, I'm not saying any rape is better than another one or worse or whatever, but a lot more must have happened to her, more brutal type of rape or something like that.
I forget the movie that Jodie Foster was. It was The Accused, I think, where Jodie Foster gets it over a pinball machine.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
something I wanted to read real quick. It said that Michelle Pfeiffer and Jodie Foster were originally chosen to play the 2 leads for Thelma and Louise, and I think these 2 they got. I couldn't picture anybody else. I think these 2 did well for their characters, even though I don't agree. I don't agree with political aspects, and Sean knows what I'm talking about. He's in the chat because we talked about that in one of the shows that we were on together. And I try not to do that, but it's really hard sometimes to separate someone's political point of view when they're out there, blah, 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 telling everybody about it, to accept them as a character in a movie or a TV show, or even as a musician singing in a concert. It's really hard to look past that when you have such big feelings that are way different than what they believe, and you think they're a dumbass, basically. So it's hard to accept them. But the thing is, I saw this movie, I think it was like 3 years after it came out or whatever. It was on DVD, I guess. But the thing is, I thought it was really good. And it was a bunch of girls. We were all like, it was like a slumber party or something. I don't remember. We was all hanging out and drinking, and we had a bonfire outside that we went out after we watched the movie and stuff. It was great. It was a fun night. It was like a girls' night out type thing. And the thing is, it pumped us all up. It made us proud to be women. It made us proud to have best friends and to stand up for your best friends, even when it's not always the right decision. I mean, men do it all the time too. I know you do. When you just like they say, your best friend isn't the one that's going to be bailing you out. He's the one sitting next to you in jail, right? Isn't that what you guys say? Stuff like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is that's what I thought was so good about it was they go out for the weekend, which was totally normal for anyone to do, guys or women. Okay. And they pick the wrong bar, and the one asshole that's in the whole bar is the one that goes up because Gina Davis is so pretty, and he can tell that she's easy pickings, because most of these people predators know their prey. Okay. They know who to pick out of the crowd and who's going to say yes and she's going to say no. so they don't need to waste their time. He knew as soon as he saw Susan Sarandon's character and her reactions that she was not non-receptive. So he went for the other one, and it paid off. So as soon as she went to the bathroom and left her on the dance floor with him, and then she just started getting nauseated, and that's when he said, well, let's go outside for some fresh air. I was like, hell no, don't go outside with that guy. Okay, because I would have been Susan Sarandon's character saying, fuck no, get lost, you asshole. That's what I would have said, because the waitress was like, she to me was like right on it. She was basically saying this guy's a jerk, but without saying it, because he's a customer and she didn't want to lose her job.
She even said that she was expecting some guy to cop her to blast him outside for his antics.
He's dumb. He's a piece of shit. He's one of those predators that every bar has one, and there's women that do the same thing. I'm not just saying it's just guys. I'm not picking on guys. It's just that there's a predator at every bar waiting for the guy that shows up, or the woman that seems down a little bit, lonely and alone. And they're going to go up and either buy him a drink, or they're going to say, even the women will do it, I'll buy you a drink, type of thing. And just to feel out this person, to find out where they're at and how receptive they are. And if the little radar is going bing, bing, bing in the back of their head, they're going to keep plowing them with alcohol or whatever it takes to get that ring off their finger. See what I'm saying? That's what kind of people they are. So I missed what it said. I'm sorry. But the thing
is, great actress. He likes Susan Sarandon. She's a
wonderful actress. I love her. I think she's really talented, and I think Gina Davis is very talented. Just like when we did Cutthroat Island, I thought she was great.
That's still
and
one of
she did her own stunts.
That's one of my favorite films Gina would ever did, and you can't look at that movie on paper. You have to watch it, and then you have to study as to why did it fail, which we did, and we figured it out.
Surprised, because it was a good movie. It was really well done, and the acting was really good. It was a great, fun story, and this one was too. If you break it down, I mean, the character arcs from where they were when they started to where they ended up was huge. It was a huge character arcs for both of them. The changes they both went through. Even though Louise was mad at her friend a few times for dumb things that she did, she got all their money stolen, every dime, because she was naive and stupid. Okay,
she just got dicked for once.
I know, but the thing is, she left the room knowing that guy was a crook. Okay, that was stupid and naive on her part. So when she told her friend that the money was gone, the money's gone, the only thing she could think of was, well, the only thing I can do, I fucked up. So she robbed that store and got him even deeper in. But the thing is, she did it because she loved her friend, and she felt horrible for what happened. You know, she felt responsible for putting him in the situation they were in. So she thought she became a real criminal. Now, one was a murderer, and the other one was a whatever you call it, a burglar, or whatever you call it, a robber. So armed robber now, that's what she is. So the thing is, you see the video, and they're all sitting around the table, and the husband going, what the fuck? You know, he just can't believe it.
The woman I married.
Where is this woman? You know, he's thinking in the back of his mind, shit, man, I had her all along, a gold mine in there, but I didn't let her have a spark. You know, I kept her flame out all the time. So, you know, he got what he, just like I said, you get a wonderful woman that has everything fun, everything you want. You know, she's beautiful, she's active, she wants to do all these things. And then you put a ring on her finger and you get her home, and you're like, I don't want anybody else to look at her, so I'm going to make her as dumb and as fuddy-duddy as I possibly can. And then the next thing you know, you're not even interested in her. But you did it because now she's trying to do what you wanted to do to fit in, so you don't fight and that you won't be mad at her. And she's trying to cook for you. She's trying to clean your house, but you don't want to take her out to dance. You don't want to take her anywhere. So, you know, now she's this smoldering little flame waiting to explode. And boy, when she got with Brad Pitt, she exploded. So he did that to her. You know, he tried to suffocate her, and she blossomed, but then she became a criminal. She basically had to become a criminal, and she didn't want out of it. She knew she couldn't go back, even if she got out of jail and her husband wanted her back. it would never be. She couldn't be the same again. She was never going to be the same. Neither one of them were,
And if
because
you
they couldn't go
like
back.
Gina Davis, if you like Gina Davis, don't forget that in Tootsie, there are some scenes with her as she's prancing around in her underwear. Now, if you watch this movie expecting some good frontal nudity, it's not Gina Davis's boobs. You're looking at Julie
But
Strain's
they did a
boobs.
good job. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't. I had to read the trivia.
Yeah,
I
so
thought I
they
was
did a very
getting.
good job. The director was phenomenal in this movie.
It's Ridley
The
Scott. I
visual
mean,
effects were gorgeous. It's
it's
beautiful.
Ridley Scott. I mean,
Well, I
Janet.
know. That's what I'm saying. If you didn't know who it was and you're just watching it and you're just looking at everything,
Bullshit.
how it goes together, it's just
Bullshit.
great.
Because I've seen Black Rain, I've seen Alien umpteen times, I've seen Blade Runner. Everything that Ridley Scott does, you can tell because of how he directs his DP to get the angles of the shot, to get how the cameras are going to be used on the helicopters. You're going to
Mhm.
see everything done in a much more professional way. The difference between Ridley Scott and any other Hollywood director is leaps and bounds. This
Mhm.
guy is a professional that knows no other peer. And the
Mhm.
DP was absolutely on fire throughout the
He
entire
didn't
movie.
disappoint either.
What?
He didn't disappoint with any of the visual effects.
No, the visual effects in this were great.
But the whole thing
The
is,
only thing I was
have you ever traveled across country in a car?
in a
You ever
truck.
stop at a hotel? No, in a car,
No,
just driving across country. Okay,
no.
I have many times. I've driven from Maine all the way down to Oklahoma, to Texas. Okay, and then from Texas and stuff all the way to Washington State, places like that, long trips, or from Maine down to Florida. Okay, that's a long drive, right? Well, you
Mhm.
see tons and tons of truckers, and what's so funny is over time, if you're all on the same interstate, you pass someone, a car or RV, or that's pulling a ATV and other shit because they're on vacation going to Florida or whatever, and you pass them and you're like, God, thank God I got to pass around that person, because you got sick of waiting behind them, and you finally get around them, and then you have to stop for gas an hour later, right? And then you get back on the road and you realize you're right behind that asshole again. So that's like the whole thing with this trucker that was doing the tongue thing and saying he was going to give him a big dick and grabbing himself, and it was just repulsive and disgusting, right? So that happens. And I've seen that many, many times when you're traveling a lot. My Kathy and I was driving. I remember it was so funny. She had a Chrysler Cordoba or something. It's real fancy luxury kind of car, and it had electric seats, and there were like velour or whatever. And we were going to drive from Maine to Colorado because she was going to go see her in-laws there, right? And I remember we were fighting to see who was going to sit in the passenger seat, because it was like this the whole ride. You're just, the whole seat was vibrating, and we were fighting.
Clip it, kids, clip it.
Getting to sit in the passenger seat because of the jiggling, right?
Get out of here, Steven.
And it was so funny. But when we finally get to Colorado, we were telling them, the seat's vibrating, and they're like, what? That's not good. There's something wrong with your tires. So they went out and they found out there was two of the things that hold the lug nuts on was stripped off. So the tire was doing that. It was that one tire on that one side. It was causing. We could have had a really bad wreck driving at 75 miles an hour down the road with we were fighting over who's going to sit in the vibration chair or whatever. It was great. It was hilarious. But it's a long, long drive, and you got to take turns driving because your back starts to hurt, your hands, your knees, everything from gripping the steering wheel or whatever when you're passing all the semis and whatever else. But, road trips are just like that. But the fact that they're in a road trip in a convertible, right, with all that dirt, all I could do is keep licking my teeth and stuff, thinking about all that dirt flying through the air and stuff. It was really dusty. And we were you and I were arguing about where they were, because I kept saying it looks like New Mexico and Nevada to me. And you were saying it looked like Utah, right? Isn't that what you said?
Utah and Northern Cali, I believe.
Yeah, but you didn't say that. You didn't think it was in California, did you?
No, I actually I did, because I'd read that was where they shot it at.
Oh, see, I didn't read any of that. I try not to look up stuff until right after, and print some stuff out so I can have a little bit of information, because I don't want to know every detail, but I do want to know afterward. because then I can say, oh, this was interesting. That, remember, like we did when we did Cutthroat Island, we found out all that stuff that had happened before the movie even got to get started filming. And that's why they were already in debt, $60 million in debt before they even started filming. And that's why they had to do their own stunts, and they had to cut corners on costumes and everything, because they're hurting. And I think I read something in this about MGM having some financial problems, didn't they? When this movie was supposed to come out, and that's one reason why they didn't make as much money or something. Something was messed up with their budgeting or something. I didn't get to read the whole thing because we were in such a hurry to get back over here. But I thought all that was really, really good. But the fact that you see the little things going, through their little roller coaster of problems happening to them. And then she ends up calling her old boyfriend, apparently, right? And they had known each other for many, many years. But I don't know. It seemed funny that she was talking with Gina Davis about what happened to her in Texas, but their boyfriend kind of didn't act like it was a problem. You know what I mean? Did you feel that like a gap there? Like there's something was missing, that we were missing out on something?
On Gina Davis's or on Susan Sarandon's side?
On Susan Sarandon's character.
On Susan Sarandon's side, like there seems to be like there's like a trust issue there from Jimmy's side. Like he tells her, I feel like I'm losing you.
Yeah.
And
he was in love with her. You could tell he was, but he was too afraid to voice it to her because he was afraid she'd run. And he was right, though, I think. But she finally was to the point where if this hadn't happened to her, all this shit that happened between them two on that trip, because of her getting assaulted and her shooting the guy that was assaulting him. But the thing is, she was right, because both of them were leaving and walking away, and he was being an arrogant asswipe, saying some of the things about what he was saying about telling her to suck his cock and all this kind of shit. And she just couldn't take it because something snapped in her after seeing what she saw, and the fact that what happened to her in Texas, whatever it was. Okay. So we don't get to fill that gap in. And that's why she shot him. She snapped at that moment, and it started the whole ball rolling. But if they had stayed, she already had an ally with the waitress, they probably could have got away with it.
The waitress would have definitely helped her out.
Mm-hmm. So the sad thing is that they made the wrong decision when they decided to get in the car and drive off. That was when the whole thing started going downhill, because instead of admitting what had happened and taking whatever punishment they would have gotten for it, they decided to run. And then because they picked up Brad Pitt and she had a romp in the hay with him for a few hours, and then he took their $6,000, they had no money. They didn't have any way to do anything. And she felt desperate. She felt like her whole life was caving in on her because they didn't have any money. And she couldn't go back because she felt like she had to go to prison forever for murder. So, it was just sad because it was one bad thing after the other. And most of it, I hate to say, is I'm blaming on Gina Davis because she was naive. She didn't know any better. Just like she said, the only man she'd ever been with was her husband. And she dated him in high school, and they got married right out of high school. So basically that's all she knew. And he was just a jerk. He might've been a jock at school or whatever, but he was just a dick. And once he had a ring on her finger, he felt like she was his possession, and she had to do whatever he told her to do. And she did. She sat at home and waited on him every day. That was it. That was what her job was, is just to take care of him and sit there and wait around for him. And sad, but I bet there's millions of women that do that every day. They just sit there waiting. They have no life because they're not allowed to. They're just there for their pleasure, or to feed them or clean their clothes or whatever it is. And that was sad. But not all women are like that, because you got to see Susan Sarandon's man. He didn't treat her that way. He was very respectable and he appreciated her. It's just that because of something that happened to her in her past, she had a hard time getting close. She was afraid to get too close. She was very standoffish, even sitting on the other side of the room and stuff.
I think that all goes back to the rape she had in Texas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
it's completely about that. And I mean, she had all the cards you could want to have, and she still managed to lose the game. And I hate to say that,
That.
you know, that's an asshole statement, but she did. She had a loving husband. She had a
Mhm.
guy that was willing to just throw money at her for whatever you got going on, honey. I got you, no problem. And he tries his best to balance her life out and to get her to where she's stable. Come home, sweetie. You know that's all he wanted was her to get her skinny ass home so they could like maybe talk about it and then just fucking get past it. Because
Yeah,
that's
that's all
all
he
it was.
wanted.
Just get past it and let's be a married couple. Hey, Flaky, how you
And
doing?
remember, he wasn't even blaming her; he was blaming it on Louise's character.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Louise's character, he was right to do so because she fucked up everything she touched. God bless her, but she not Louise, Thelma. Thelma's
Yeah,
Gina.
Thelma was the one that was like naive. She just
Okay.
didn't.
She
She
just
hadn't been out. She hadn't been
she,
out. She didn't have a job. Remember, she was a housewife. She never worked, so she didn't really deal with people like Louise knew people. You know, she could tell when she as soon as he came over to the table and was gabbing, she was rolling her eyes and shit. So nah, it's all right, you know, because she knew he was a loser. She
yep.
deals with people every day, just like the other waitress said. How can you how can I do this every day and not understand what people are like? You know, and she was right. You can't, you know, like you do your job and you do this, that, and the other, and whatever you're around, you absorb information from your surroundings, and you could probably walk up on a situation and pretty much know what the problem's going to be before you even start looking at it, simply because you've been through so many of those types of situations. And
And young
that's all
man,
that's all
that
I'm
comes
trying to
with
say.
age. Don't expect to have it out of college.
No. Mm-mm. It's
Um,
hands-on experience. That's why I don't understand why they don't have more apprenticeship type positions for people when they come out of college. If you got a college that's training people to be a carpenter or electrician or whatever, you'd think that college would have jobs set up to be apprentices for all these
trade
other
schools
people
do.
and companies, right?
A lot of trade
So,
schools do. A lot of
yeah,
trade
trade
schools have
school,
have
not
have
college, not college.
college.
Aren't they different?
College is worthless. Don't fucking go. Save your
Uh,
money. Get drunk at home.
yeah, pay all that money to go to college and learn how to do lesbian basket weaving or something like that, where you can't get a job after you get out. So I don't know. It's just ridiculous. I just think it's bullshit. But the whole thing is that the two girls uh, kept making mistakes to try to help the other one fix the mistake they'd made toward them. You know, dragging them into a problem, and then they had to do something else to top the problem they made earlier. See, that type of thing. And it just kept going on and on and on. But they both came to the realization that they didn't want to go to jail. They weren't going to let them arrest them because they knew that their lives were over and that they had no freedom. They would never be free again.
Like
And they went that way.
there's some things about this movie I didn't quite understand why
Mm-hmm.
it's such a strong feminist movie. I think
Like,
there's some things, and I'm not trying to score points with the fair sex guys. Stop it. I think what it is that you have this movie, which at the time it came out in '91, there was no other film with high dollar, high value actresses telling guys stop being gross. And that entire thing comes from the entire scene with the trucker before they
mm-hmm.
explode his tanker, which I thought it was weird because we first see the trucker and he's driving like a box truck, not even labeled for hazmat. I need to watch that scene again real quick, but
I
see,
didn't think so. It looked like I remember that trucker, that one that was sticking his tongue out and doing that shit,
yeah,
always driving a tanker.
was he driving a tanker? I thought he was driving a box. I'm sorry. I thought
He
at
was
one
driving
point he was driving.
the same
Oh,
truck.
well, no, excuse
The whole
me.
thing.
Throughout the entire movie, every time there's a semi truck on scene, the driver of the car must cut in front of him and like be a typical unthinking swine of a driver. And I'm saying that about either Gina Davis or Susan Sarandon because it looks like they're getting ready to brake check him. Like they just cut in front of him.
Yeah, but
Quick,
did
let's
you see
brake
the
check
scene
him.
where the truck was coming like this towards us while we were sitting and watching, and
Yeah.
then Thelma and Louise came on the other side of the truck and then went between the truck and a car that was trying to pull out. They had the right of way, and he said, the guy yelled and said, "You fucking assholes," or whatever, because he didn't know it was two women. All he knew is he almost ran into them because they were fucking losers. So see, even they got in trouble because they were bad drivers. They were being reckless.
They're shitty drivers.
It wasn't just men drivers that were bad. Things like that. To me, I didn't see it as a feminist movie at all. I saw two dumb women that made one mistake after another and ended up being way over their head. That's what I saw. I
don't know why it's become a landmark of feminist film. It's not,
because some feminist bitch says it is. That doesn't mean
that's fine.
Just like when you told me that Cutthroat Island was the biggest bomb ever, or whatever, it was the biggest Guinness Book of World Records worst movie in there, or whatever it was. And I was like, what? So then we watched it, and I was like, why was it considered so bad? It was a great movie, but because it lost the more money than any other movie, and that had nothing to do with the movie. See, that is a persona that somebody put on it, a stigma that it wasn't true.
And at the time, the media was happy to carry that water. The media was happy to carry that water because at the time, Gina Davis was like America's sweetheart, and she needed to have a bomb. I guess she needed to have her
air let out of her sails.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know it wasn't a bad movie. Now we all know this is a movie that's based on shitty women with shitty or good, mostly decent women making bad decision after bad decision and driving like shit. That's what this movie is really about.
Yeah, look at me though. I have never gotten a ticket. I don't speed. I'm not a grandma driver. At least some people make fun of me because I don't have a lead foot. Now I have another sister that, oh my God, she gets a ticket every month. She's always getting a ticket because she cannot drive without speeding. She speeds all the time. But to me, I hate speeders because speeders are one of the reasons why so many people do have accidents. They run stop signs. They weave in between cars. Even those motorcycles that go in and out, that's all dangerous. That's breaking the law, and you're risking everyone else on the road when you do dumb shit like that. Now, I'm not saying I haven't sped. I have a few times. I have realized I was going over the speed limit, and then I slow down. But the thing is, I try to be very careful, staying a certain ways away from a car in front of me. All those things, because I want to live. I don't want to kill someone else. And so I try to be very careful when I drive. Does that make me an old prude driver? What does that make me? Because I'm cautious, just like I don't drink and drive. I don't think anybody should drink and drive. And I don't think anyone that should smoke pot and drive, things like that. I think that should be, I wish more people would care enough about the other people that they don't even know, so that we wouldn't hurt other people if we were just, self-conscious about what our actions could cause. And that to me is common sense. So I think we lack common sense. It's not all feminist bullshit, but there are a bunch of asshole feminists out there that are ruining my life. They're the reasons why we have men with fake boobs with a dick swimming on women's swim teams and shit. I mean, that has nothing to do with me, because I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe they should lower standards for women. If a woman can't drag his 300-pound body out of a burning building, then they shouldn't have lowered the standards to make her a fireman. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. My life could be in danger, and so could people I love, because they lowered the standards to make a woman a cop, or make a woman a fireman, or make a woman a soldier. If they can't pass the rules, then they shouldn't get that job. Same thing for a guy. If a guy can't do the right thing to be a nurse, then he shouldn't get the nurse's license either. To me, whatever job it is. I mean, there's lots of jobs out there that a man may not be qualified for. I mean, I saw lots of men that couldn't make it through boot camp. So it's not just women.
Some women can. She's based in reality, as I call it.
But to me, that's common sense. To me, I don't look at it as male or female. I just look at it as common sense. You stick your finger in that flame and it's going to burn. That's common sense. At least that's how I was taught growing up. Is that a good mom?
I don't disagree with you, and I don't think anybody in the chat disagrees with you either. That's
what I'm
I didn't see this movie as a feminist movie at all.
But
I didn't
some
see women
slut
getting
put it
offended
on
shit.
Wikipedia, and it's gone other places where
I know,
if
and
you watch
that
it, you
sucks.
hear people
That
talk about
those,
that. And it's,
those are bad people. They lied. They're lying, and they've ruined this movie by attaching a symbol to it that doesn't belong on it. You know,
yeah.
it doesn't belong on it because it is not a feminist movie. It might not be the perfect movie, okay, but I thought he did a great job trying to direct this and get that point of view across, that these are two women. One's just a waitress that's not been married before, but she had trauma in her past and she's trying to get on with her life. And her best friend is a mousy housewife that's been married since high school, basically, and they're good friends. And they've been best friends for years. It seems like many years, at least 7 years or so. And she wants to take her out on the weekend because a friend of hers from work got this cabin, or this real nice cabin, that he has to give to his wife because they're getting divorced. And he said he's letting all his friends use it. All you have to do is make sure they give him the key back, because he didn't care if it's trashed. He just wants to give that key to her and get her a piece of shit property because he's pissed because she's divorcing his ass.
Now, do you listen to any country music, Janet?
Sometimes, a little bit. I don't like a lot of country now.
Do you like Pam Tillis?
I don't know. I'd have to listen to the song to see if I know it or not. Why?
She got real big in the early 90s. Did a lot of charts on Billboard with My Vida Loca, My Crazy Life in 95. She
have
did
to hear it.
Don't Tell Me What to Do in 1990. But Pam Tillis is the one that Callie Curry, the writer of this film, basically wrote the part of Susan Sarandon and Louise off of Pam Tillis, and that she built this movie as a road trip idea in 1988, and they started optioning it. Eventually, I think the script went for like $500,000. But this movie had an interesting development of it, and they went through so many people. They were waiting for fucking Susan Sarandon to get ready to go, and they waited so long that they said to Gina Davis, if you want, would you play Louise? Would you play, Louise Sawyer? And Gina's like, I don't care. I want to do this movie. And they were going through other female leads, Michelle Pfeiffer, and they kept turning over leads. They couldn't get like the time and scheduling right. 88, 90 start, 90 hit, and then they finally settled on Sarandon. Sarandon finally is like, yeah, let's do it. So it just kind of made me upset reading about this, because it could have been a movie I really enjoyed. Actually, I didn't. Like, there's some parts of it I thought were good. There's definitely, the characters are definitely likable, but that doesn't mean I enjoyed the movie worth of shit. There's a better movie out there with just as bad, if not worse, consequences, called A Simple Plan.
Yeah,
I don't mean to rip this movie in half, but I mean, like,
hey, it's fine. I picked it because I thought it would be a really good kick-ass movie for women on Mother's Day. And today's Mother's Day, and it's my mom's birthday. And I like this movie. I thought it was very well done, considering it had 2 female leads that were on the run, like Bonnie and Clyde, what was that movie? It was called California or something. And it had Brad Pitt and that little mousy girl that were robbing stores and stuff. I can't remember what her name is right now, but it was, I think it was called California, something like that. And they were like criminals, and everybody was chasing them, trying to get them and stuff like that. So there's been quite a few movies where you have the criminals that are being chased by the the police and stuff. But I just thought it was, to me, it was very realistic, that I could see that one thing like this and another thing like that and another one, and then the other one makes a mistake trying to help the other one, and all that, because I've seen stuff like that in my real life, with my sisters, making dumb mistakes, and then you're trying to help them fix their mistake, and then you make a mistake because you did this or whatever, and you missed a day at work or whatever it was. It's like a waterfall effect, that more and more shit starts piling on top because you're trying to cover and fix all the other problems as you're trying to. There's a hole and the stuff's falling in, and you're trying to dig it out with like little shovels from the beach, that type of thing. You just feel like you're shoveling and shoveling, but you can't keep the hole empty. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, that one. Remember that one?
Never seen it.
Okay, well, that movie was a lot like it. It was two people on the run and they're committing lots of crime stuff, but they were criminals and psychos or whatever. This movie, it was different because it was just two normal women, and it showed you that a few stupid mistakes can put you in over your head if you don't.
I think if they would have been two hot conservative gals. After the guy got blown away in the parking lot, I think the movie would have ended with like police arriving, and then
the movie would have been over. See, that's not what they wanted. This was a story about two women that constantly kept making the wrong choices. And Gina Davis's mistake was because she was naive and she wouldn't realize that people take advantage of you. It's like Thelma kept telling her, you can't believe it. You can't tell everybody your life story, and you can't believe everything someone tells you because people are full of shit. People lie. People tell lies all the time. And I don't know. I just really felt bad for her because she was just a country girl that married her sweetheart from high school. And then she went on the trip. And because they stopped at one place to get something to eat and a few drinks, and that the wrong guy showed up, it started the whole bulldoze effect, and that's what happened. And she ended up getting in way over her head. And when he said, let's go out and get some fresh air, I was like, no, don't go outside with this guy, he's scum. And her friend wasn't there because she was in the bathroom, and you saw what it looked like, and that's exactly what it really looks like in some of these places. You can't even get in there. It's so packed with people all standing around either smoking or talking or on their phone or whatever. It's some bullshit. I hate women's bathrooms. I think it's disgusting. So that's one reason why I don't like going to those kind of bars. It's because the bathrooms are gross. You saw what it looked like in there, and that's what they look like.
In my bathroom.
Not in the men's bathroom, because you guys just go in and do your thing and leave. Women don't. They go in there like it's a family reunion or something. That's why I hate Walmart too. You just want to go and get your shit on your list and leave, and you have to weave around like it's a, whatever. What are those derbies? Where the people are ramming their cars into each other because everybody's just standing around like, let's go to Walmart and have a family reunion. That's what. It's just ridiculous. I can't stand it.
The bright parts of this movie for me are like the interactions between Hal, played by Harvey Keitel, and Lucinda Ginny, who was Lena the waitress. I love that scene. I also like Jimmy. When Michael Madsen was on screen, it felt like there was an element of stability there. Mm-hmm. And just he represented stability to me. Like whenever he was just trying to get Louise to get her head out of this dumb idea.
He loved her. Yeah, he loved her, but she was damaged goods. See, that's exactly what I was trying to say. Is that something about that had happened to her caused trauma? We don't know what it is because it's never revealed in the movie, except when the cop says, "I know what happened to you in Texas." Okay. And she just shuts down every single time she's made to confront that this happened to her. She just blanks out because she never got therapy or whatever it was that she needed. She didn't get it. She just tried to pretend it didn't happen and avoid the situation. He apparently, I don't think he even knew for sure what it was that happened to her, but he loved her and he wanted. I mean, when she called him and said she needed this money, he knew something really bad happened, even though she wasn't going to tell him. And he went there to give her the money in person. So she trusted him. Okay. And he came through for her. He was a good man and he loved her and he didn't care what was going on. He just wanted to help her because he loved her. He really cared about her. And he even gave her a ring. and he couldn't even do it the way he wanted to because he felt like it was just a bad situation. The whole thing was messed up. But the thing is that, and he left because he knew that's,
it's over.
Probably would never come back. Yeah, that he would never see her again. That's what he felt, because he knew her that well, even though she was so standoffish, sitting on the other side of the room and everything. You could just see that he talked calmly. Now, see, he got mad and he threw stuff in the room and stuff, but she never felt threatened by him. You didn't see her going, oh, like that, like he was going to hit her. You know what I mean? Like Gina Davis was with the other guy, and how she was with her husband. You know, how she was cringy, and she didn't know how to, was defensive around him because she thought he might hurt her or something. She didn't know what he was going to do, what he was capable of doing. But you never saw that reaction by Louise's character, because she never felt that way by him. Even though she had went through whatever horrible situation that happened to her in Texas, she never felt that from him. See, she trusted him. It's the one person in her whole life besides her best friend that she trusted. And it was sad because she knew she was never going to be able to have that. Even though finally she held that ring in her hand, she knew that she was never going to have that now, because now she's a murderer. Everything that she'd ever wanted was falling in her lap, but it was too late. You know what I mean? It was devastating for both of them, because that whole life that they could have had was gone. And she wouldn't even tell him why. She couldn't even tell him why, because she was so secretive about, what had happened to her. But he accepted her for it. You know what I mean? That's real love. A person that accepts your faults but still loves you anyways, that's a piece of gold. And boy, you should hold on to that, and not so tight that you choke them, but hold on to them and give them what they need. Just tell them constantly, I love you.
A little bit of choking can be fun, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Not to suffocate him, like what Gina Davis's husband was doing. He was suffocating. He was making everything that she was, where she wasn't that anymore. She's just sitting at home, and one day she'd have a pop out a kid, and then she's chained there. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like that one conversation she had with Brad Pitt about why she hadn't had kids yet. And she said, well, he's basically a big kid. He doesn't want me to have kids because he wants to be the center of attention. He wants her when that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. That's what his perfect life was: to go to work, come home and have beer, meal, give me this, give me that. Let's have sex. That's what he controlled, every aspect of their house. And she was just an ornamentation or whatever. He'd pick her up, put her on the shelf when he's done with her. That's how he treated her. And she got a taste of what real life was when her best friend took her on this trip. Now, she got more than she bargained for, because she was naive to trust this guy, and she was doing shots and all that stuff. And this guy was plowing her with alcohol, because all he wanted to do was screw somebody. And he thought she was pretty, and it was a conquest to him. So
he would not have remembered her name afterwards.
Well,
he would not have remembered.
It's another notch on his belt. And there's a lot of people out there like that, men and women. That's all they care about. As soon as you walk in, you're a target. They're just going to go over there and start buying you drinks and say flattering things. And if you're desperate and you haven't had the attention you need at home, then yeah, the flattery is going to be really nice.
Sounds
and might
really
go a long
nice.
way.
I've been lonely for a while.
So, yeah. So I can get that. I could go to a bar right now and just get whatever I wanted, if that's what I wanted. But that's not what I want. I don't want a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Anybody can have that. I don't want that. I want what Susan Sarandon had right across the room. That's what I want. Someone who cares about me that way. That's what I think every person deserves in their life. And it does happen. It's just whether or not you're receptive to it or not, whether it's going to come to you or just turn around and walk off. And that's one of the reasons why I love this movie, because to me it shows the aspect of what they didn't think they had at the beginning, and the arc takes them to the other end of their life, to where they live a whole life within days of life experiences that they never would have ever had if they hadn't been together at the same time, and were confronted with some of the things that happened to them and was laid in their lap, and how they responded to it. And You know, the whole thing when Gina Davis snaps and starts becomes this outlaw, it was shocking. Even the cops all sitting around watching the videos were like, what the fuck's going on?
The part where she takes this poor cop right here and she takes him hostage while he's grilling Louise. You know, step out of the car now, get in the trunk, give me your glasses, swap me glasses. That entire scene, by the way, this is Jason Big E or Big He. He's a Wish version of Bruce Willis, if you're looking for that. And he's got a significant resume. He was in Monkey Shines and
I've seen him in lots of things. I've seen him in lots of stuff. Remember what Susan Sarandon said when she saw him in the rearview mirror? She goes, "Oh my God, he's a Nazi because of the way he was dressed, because he's wearing a hat and all that shit with that uniform on." I thought that was funny. I thought they did really well. You know, to the way that their banter back and forth, and the scene where she's laying by the pool and you can see her knees are all dirty and her feet are filthy because, you know, they've been on the road, they haven't taken a shower or anything, and she's laying there in her bikini and she's got her headphones on. Well, I read on the trivia thing that said that her reaction where she jumps is a real reaction because she didn't know that Susan Sarandon was going to come over there and go, come on, you know, get her up like that. She just thought that she was gonna yell and get her to hear her and go over there, but she didn't because she had the music on for real on the headphones. So I thought that whole thing was really good. And the whole thing about the kiss at the end, that they said, nah, don't do that. We don't want to make it look like you two are, you know, into each other or anything like that. And to me, I didn't get that at all from the kiss. You know what I mean? I have 4 sisters and we kiss and hug all the time. That doesn't mean I'm sexually interested in my sisters. It just means I love my sisters. And so when people were saying stuff about it, when I started reading a little bit here and there about Thelma Louise, like you said, about the whole feminist bullshit or whatever, I didn't get that feeling at all. That the kiss that she gave her at the end made it seem like they were lovers. And I was like, I didn't get that at all. Maybe I'm just naive and stupid. But Susan Sarandon said they told him not to do it. And she said, well, fuck them. I like it. And it's in the script and I'm going to do it anyways. So she did. So they left it in, which I think is great, you know? So I thought it was really good because that's what I'd do. If I knew my sister and I were going to drive up this cliff and die, I'd want to give her one last kiss, tell her I love her. Cause I know I'm dying. I'm about to croak.
So
chat,
my
last chance, you know?
People on Twitter and here on YouTube and on Rumble, go ahead and put your scores in for Thelma and Louise.
If you've seen it.
If you've seen it, give us your scores. We'll read them aloud. I'll have Janet read it aloud because she's got a much nicer, smokier voice than me.
But I like this movie. I thought it was very well done. I thought the director was great. The editing was great. I thought the acting was phenomenal. I love the character arcs. Everyone seemed to be the person that we're supposed to be portraying. I didn't feel like I was let down by any of them. And the guy that played her husband, I thought he was excellent at playing a total jerk. He did good.
He does play a jerk very well.
He did a really good job. So he was believable. And Brad Pitt too, as a smirky little shit hitchhiker.
Oh, this is in that period of time where Brad Pitt had these niche roles, these very tiny roles that I believe are better than his main roles. Like, as much as you might think that, Fight Club was his best movie. No,
to me, that was my favorite one so far.
I still think Brad Pitt is that guy on the couch smoking the dope out of the honey bear bomb.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too, because I was shocked that he took such a rinky-dink role in a movie. I was surprised.
Nobody knew Brad Pitt. Nobody knew Brad Pitt. Nobody at all.
I'm still surprised he was such a small role. Just like in Thelma and Louise, that was a small role too.
He was on Head of the Class, but I couldn't see him around Dan Schneider. So I mean, it's one of those things where we know he had a career before this, but this is a movie that Brad Pitt was a relative nobody in. And that's fine. Everybody starts somewhere, and this movie helped put him on the map. True Romance did really nothing for the guy. I don't know where it was that he really stepped into his own, but I do remember women talking about Brad Pitt in this movie in the mid-'90s, not in the early 90s when it was released, because I was in high school at the time, and I'm not going to give a shit about a movie like this.
Yeah.
it's got really great direction. The characters seem to be plausible, but like if you live in a small town America where your excitement and your daily verbal exchanges involve the gossip of other people that are less morally fortunate than you, they don't have a high compass as you do, and they fuck up because it's Friday through Sunday and they go out and
Yeah.
get drunk or pregnant, or they beat their wife at the bowling alley in front of everyone and God. I mean,
Yeah.
this is that movie where we brought those people into the limelight and everyone in America could see what the trailer park produces. And I say that with derision, and I'm not meaning to slam on trailer parks. A lot of my friends are from trailer parks. I'm looking at a double wide myself right now. I like
Yeah.
double wides. I just like the space. I like the
I have
way
lots of friends that
they're
live
laid
in
out.
trailers. And in Florida, in some areas, you can pay $1 million for a lot with a trailer on it. So, just saying, $1 million trailer.
Um,
Too bad.
boy, I don't want to say this is so in my mindset here. Moist rating is a 60%. Film is a 60%. Moist rating means that if you're a woman, you probably rate it higher because Brad Pitt gets to bone somebody. And I got to admit that Julie Strain's stomach looks really good. That's all I'm going to say. As a
But
man,
you did. The editing for that whole love scene was flawless.
yeah, they did
I could
so well. I did
not tell
not realize
at
it was
all
Julie Strain.
that it was someone besides Gina Davis. They did that's what I'm saying. That is phenomenal work when it comes to putting a film together. Whoever they hired. See, the thing is, when the director directs, he's looking at the scene and he's wanting that to be the focus of whatever it is to be on screen for us to watch, right? And then he'll talk to his people and say, this is what I want, this is the music, blah, blah, blah. When he's going through all the different things to put it all together. Same thing with the scenery. When you have a person, a location scout out looking around and sending back pictures and stuff, there's a certain thing that the director sees and wants after he's read the script, okay? So he wants to put all this together. And when you can get a good team for the different things that's going to happen and put it together, then it's going to be a good movie. And to me, I think it had all that. It had everything that you need. Had romance, it had action, it had car chases, it had explosions, and it had laughter, because I even heard you laugh quite a few times because it was funny. There was good funny scenes in it. So to me, it had everything you needed. And it's the sad thing is that because some idiot feminists thought, oh, it's elite, 2 women in the lead, so we have to make it into our movie, put that label on it and ruined it so men won't want to watch it, which is sad, because I love action. I love John Wick. I love Nobody. I love those movies too. But I also love this because to me, this wasn't a feminist movie. I watched it and I could look at it and watch it, enjoy it. And I didn't feel like they were trying to force some man-hating agenda down my throat. I didn't get that at all. I saw plenty of good men in this
Janet,
movie.
you're totally okay with this movie being like a man-hating film, because that's how we're going to publicize it for all eternity. We're not going to actually look at this movie seriously.
It's a good movie. It's not a feminist movie at all. Just like, to me, like I told everybody, The Full Monty is not a stripper movie, and it wasn't. There was only one scene in the whole movie at the very end where they were actually stripping. The rest of the movie was all building up their friendships and trying to find jobs and how they work together to help each other out.
That was a bad movie, but I think Magic Mike did a better job than the Full Monty.
Well, yeah, it was a stripper movie. See, that's the difference. Magic Mike is really a stripper movie. It's about strippers, and you see stripping through the whole movie.
It's not
Full
about
Monty
strippers.
Is not.
That's just what they do.
Yeah. Well, they but it's just not the same thing.
You get a good dance in a show. You take your wife to it. She gets everything she ever wanted. Matt McConaughey in a sock. There you go. That's the movie that your wife can appreciate. But when you have your wife really understand what the movie is, where like, I just want to earn enough money so I can go away from all of you and never be seen again and chop wood in my backyard with my forest of trees on 10-acre lot and occasionally shoot deer that wander across and cook for my family after I've eaten the heart. That I honestly think is what most men want, where like no guy ever says, I want to live in the apartments that I live in right now. I want to have the same leaky roof and the same $400 a month expenditures for electricity because I'm too much of a cuck to want to go and venture outward and have to be unable to use Google Fiber. Most guys aren't like that. Most guys want to get away from the city and the hustle, the bustle, the fucking shitty traffic, and they don't want to have to deal with like threats to their existence because of like crime. So most of us, we see this movie Magic Mike, and we want the ability to go and live our life in happiness, and not retirement. We still want responsibilities of family and such, but we don't want to have to deal with all the interruptions of this miserable city life that is being foisted upon us right now. And anybody that's in my situation, I feel for you. I'm right there with you. But it does end. You at some point you make decisions and you get ahead, or you make poor decisions, get evicted, and you move in with your brother somewhere out in rural Oklahoma, and maybe your life changes for the better.
That happens to a lot of people. See, the thing is, it's life choices that you make on a daily basis is where you're going to end up. And sometimes it isn't even your decision. Let's say that you've done everything right, but somebody near you or someone that's in charge of getting you that job, or the person that owns the place, the building that you're in, they make bad decisions and it fucks you over. So, it's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just, like Gina said over and over again, that she's just bad luck. But see, it wasn't all just bad luck in her thing. It was the fact that she was naive and she didn't see past the moment. To know that, wow, I'm diving in so deep, I'm going to get screwed. And plus, it really wasn't very smart that Louise gave her the envelope in the first place with the money.
Yeah, that should have been kept in Louise's custody.
Yeah, I would have put it in my bag and kept my bag with me wherever I went.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
She was going back to his room, so
if
he brought it. Why would she think that he's going to take it again? You see what I mean? So to me, I don't know.
Jimmy and I are going to have sex, but my purse is going to be slung over my shoulder while he's banging out my boat hole and my good hole. That's just
whatever.
That whatever they're doing, like she's got the purse on. In the purse is the sealed envelope with the $6,700.
But he's the one that brought the money. See, she was going to take it back with her to the room with him, and he's the one that gave her the money in the first place. So he's not the threat. I don't know. This little things like that, I had a little hard time with trying to piece together why she made that decision. But you got to remember, both of these women were going through traumatic things. I mean, they were going through a lot of emotional trauma at the time in their life, and wanting to change. They wanted to change. Both of them wanted something more in their lives, but they didn't know how to get it. They didn't know how to get to where they needed to be. And they thought they were on the right track until
you thought wrong.
Thelma went out in the parking lot with some dumbass because she was a dumbass. She made a bad choice. And I'm not saying she deserved what she got. What I'm saying is that because she should have waited on her friend. She should have waited or went to the bathroom to get her friend and not went outside. But when you're drunk, you can't make good decisions. That's another reason why I'm an advocate to people not drinking in excess, even if you're with your friends, because someone's got to be the one that's sober. I was always designated driver, but I would get up on the table and dance with cups in my shirt without drinking. So, I'd have a problem with that. I don't get embarrassed over shit like that. I could do it and have fun, and people would think I'd be drinking, but I wasn't.
This is the part right here. This is where I think if this would have happened, then the movie would have definitely been written by a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Because paranoid women that store money, that keep money, that hide money, they do shit like that.
Yeah,
like
I've got stashes of money. I have stashes of money in different places because I don't trust very many people, and I definitely don't trust the bank to keep all my money safe. I don't, because as soon as they turn the switch off, when the electricity's gone, you don't have a debit card. You can't buy stuff online. You got to be able to go somewhere and have cash or coin, and people say, oh, I got gold bricks. I'm like, yeah, let me see you shaving that gold brick when you're standing over at the farmer's market trying to buy some eggs and milk. with a gold brick. Yeah. How are they going to give you change? So, that kind of stuff, you're not thinking about what you're doing, what you're preparing yourself for.
There's a comedian by the name of Derek Stroop, and he says, listen, these 28-year-olds and under, they have no idea what life was like, because you used to have to, like, plan ahead things like, hey, we're going to a party. Who's the DD? We didn't have Uber. We didn't have Lyft. We didn't have smartphones. And you have to look around like, Daryl, I need you to be sober tonight. You'll be drunk next time, okay? But you get to the party and Daryl grabs a fifth of fucking JD, and now you're like going, oh God, I just want to be able to go home and see my mom and dad. I'm already like 5 shots of tequila in, and Brandy is staring at me from across the room, and I think she's going to rape me when I go to sleep tonight on the floor, cuddled up next to that Donald Duck pillow. And I think it's going to happen, and I don't want it to happen. And like the kids today, like if they go to a party and like their buddy like gets drunk as shit, they just open up their phone like, okay, Uber, come get me, Lyft, come get me. Could you imagine like being a young person in today's world, Janet, if you had the ability to like go out, get drunk, have no responsibility, shit your pants, and then call for an Uber? You'd be Just saying.
I've never used Uber. I've only used one taxi.
Was he a tech? What nationality was your taxi driver? I'm just curious for clarity.
He was just some guy, he looked like he was Caucasian. But the only reason I used it is because there was no trams in Vegas, because the trams go down the strip right behind the hotels. So I could go down.
I've never spent a day in Vegas. I've been in Needles.
I've been there like 9 times. So the thing is, I wanted to go. I went to the Star Trek experience. Remember what I told you? I go to the Coca-Cola factory because I'm cheap. Okay, I'm a cheap person, and I bought my tickets that day to go to a show. Like I wanted to go see the Girls of Glitter Gulch, which is a topless review, and then I went and saw Kenny Kerr, and he dresses up as women and he sings and dances, and he has it's a review, a whole, showgirls and all that stuff. And then I wanted to do the Star Trek experience, and I went had to drive the tram each day, do all these different things that I wanted to do. But I wanted to go see Penn and Teller, and they're at the Rio, which is on the other side of the strip, which is way away. I mean, it's too far to walk. It was too far, and I didn't feel safe going where I didn't know. I wasn't on the main drag of the strip, so I had to take a taxi for that. But normally I wouldn't. But the thing is, I made the hotel call them for me, so I knew it was a legitimate business, because if they wanted me to pay my tab at the end of the week, they better make sure I get back to my room safely. So that's who I trusted to do it for me. So, and I went over there and it was fine. But I didn't call an Uber. And I don't even have an app on my phone for like any of that stupid dating shit, because I don't trust any of that crap. I mean, anyone that has to find someone on a phone, like Tinder or whatever, is not someone I would date. Because to me, that's, I don't know. I just don't understand that.
You don't even get a good smell test on internet dating.
Well, the thing is, you don't know anything. You see a picture. It could be an AI picture. You don't even know if it's really the person. And you're going to just hook up with them, let them come to your house, or go meet them in a hotel. I mean, they could chop your head off, rob you, and just leave your corpse laying in the room. I mean,
Janet will give you guys the best possible outcome verbally. What could happen? What can go wrong? Janet will tell you.
I'm telling you, I don't understand that. To me, that's,
head severed.
Does anybody not watch documentaries, about all like Criminal Minds or any of these shows? I mean, it's just too much. It's not.
I've got a penis, so I have people like you talk to me about the first 48.
Well, I can't help it. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be interested in
men don't watch crime dramas and stuff like that. Men watch other things like John Wick, or the fact that Brandon Herrera made a first fucking AK-50 cal. Fuck yeah. He's going to win.
Look at these girls. Okay. At the very beginning, they're all clean. Their hair's done. They're worried about their makeup and brushing their hair and wearing lipstick and all that. And at the end, they're covered head to toe with dirt. They're sweaty. Their hair's a wreck. And their clothes are filthy. And they're about to drive over a cliff.
This movie is a wonderful like prequel to A Simple Plan. If that's the only way I can think of how to retire
I
this
don't know what
movie,
that is. What's a
you've
simple
never
plan?
you've never seen A Simple Plan?
Uh-uh.
All right, you're gonna watch A Simple Plan right now. Not right now, but
You're gonna book it?
yeah, I'm gonna book it because yeah, we need to watch A Simple Plan. That's you getting properly given the best movie of poor decisions ever is A Simple Plan. It's got Helen Hunt and like give me some
I like her. She's a pretty good actress.
And I'm drawing a blank right now, but no, it's one of the very best '90s movies. Bill Paxton's the lead in it, and he sells it so fucking well.
I'm trying to remember who Bill Paxton is. He's the guy from Twister,
Game
right?
over, man.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was thinking it was him. I was like, ew. Is he? And he was in Tombstone too, right?
He's in Tombstone. Bill Paxton, Billy Bob Thornton, excuse me, and Bridget Fonda. Oh my God, the foot goddess herself. And if you ever saw Jackie Brown, you know what I mean there.
I haven't seen that one either, or if that's a movie.
Tarantino.
I wanted to say something. Somebody put something in there about going to Vegas. Well, if you want to go to Vegas and you want to do it cheap, you book your flight on Sun Country, and this is what I did online, and you buy your tickets while you're on the plane. Because I bought tickets to see the Blue Man Group, and they were like $100 a seat, right? And those were the cheaper ones. Okay, but what happened was a few things happened during the trip, because it was also a Junior Chamber of Commerce convention that we were going to, and my sister had bought tickets, but she bought her tickets once they got there at the gate or whatever to go, where you're going to go see the Blue Man Group. They went up there, they paid $220 or something like that a person to buy tickets, and I got mine for $100 to see it on the plane. Well, they fell asleep because they had drank too much and they missed the show, and guess what? You don't get your money back. But if you buy them on the plane on the way there, you get your money refunded on your way back. All you got to do is just give them your receipt, whatever thing you had, and you get your money back, put back on your credit card. So there's lots of people like me that are cheap that look for every deal they can because they want to save money, because I'm frugal or whatever, or cheap. I just say cheap, but other people say, no, that's smart or whatever. But, because I don't believe in wasting money. I believe in saving as much as you can and getting the best deal that you can. So I never take the first thing I ever see. I always research and try to get the best deal. But it's letting you know, if you want to go to Vegas, that way you have more money to spend on the slot machines or on the tables. I play Texas Hold'em, so
Sure.
I don't do the slot machines either. So
now next week, for those of you that are into animation, we have got a banger of a show. We're going to be watching in Discord the movie Fire and Ice.
I haven't seen it.
Ralph Bakshi movie with Frank Frazetta.
Is it a cartoon?
It's cartoon.
Okay.
It's a fucking great cartoon. Is it amazing? Is it the best ever? No, but is it good for Bruce? Absolutely. I love this movie.
Good. I'm excited about watching it.
And then the 26th, we'll need a suggestion from Janet.
I'll have to let you know. I thought I sent you a new one in your messages for my next one. I said I would pick. I'd have to go look at Discord and see.
We find Discord here. All right, Janet.
And not Jaws. That was for summer.
You don't want Jaws? I mean, it's May. Okay, we'll do it.
There was another one I sent. After Thelma and Louise. And I said I'd give you one more name, and I can't remember what it was right now because there's so many. There's just, I can't believe how many movies there are I haven't seen, or ones that I thought were really good.
Hold on. Talk to Hill. We talked about Bernard Hill.
Mm-hmm. It was a few days back.
I'm at the 4th of May right now, and G.I. Jane.
Yes, that's it. That's the one. I think that'd be a good movie. It's another good one.
Yes. Yeah. We'll do G.I. Jane here on the 26th of May, and then the 2nd of June, we'll be reviewing the Flash Gordon, The Greatest Adventure Ever.
The original Flash Gordon?
Nope. The 1983, made in the late 70s, but delayed by NBC and shelved because Dino De Laurentiis did some hokey pokey magic, and they focused all of the advertising and all the talk towards a live action Sam J. Jones movie. And instead, on a Saturday night on prime time, when nobody else except for me and Clobby saw it, we watched Flash Gordon, The Greatest Adventure of All at like 7 or 8 p.m. And it was a 2-hour show. And fuck if it's not the best Flash Gordon story ever told. I mean, I've watched a lot of Flash Gordon. I've seen my share of Buster Crab, guys. And this movie here, to me, has one of the best plots and scripts. I love the rotoscoping animation, which you'll see that in the Fire and Ice episode we do, because Fire and Ice is filmed the same damn way they use rotoscoping, which is a classic way of having the actors dress up like their characters and then filming them and then taking various stills and drawing the frames out based on the characters in motion. It's amazing. And we still need to do that. That's how we should always be doing it.
I've never ever heard of this, so I can't wait to see it.
So we got Flash Gordon, Greatest Adventure of All, and then on June 16th we will watch A Simple Plan. We'll get out of the animation business for a little bit, but I want to talk to you guys because the Gordon animation was amazing, and there was a TV show that ran, and this movie showed after it, because the TV show came out after the movie came out, and it rode on success of that. It was pretty good, but there was a lot of parts where they would repeat scenes. Like in He-Man, you'd have repeated scenes where characters would be doing the same animation from like episode to episode to episode. Like He-Man running was the same episode, was the same animation for like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
He-Man running, Battle Cat mounted, galloping, same animation. Amazing stuff, but you've seen it before. But the movie, they put some money in towards it, and they actually made a very good Flash Gordon story, I think. I hope you like it. But I wanted to do 2 animation features because I just love watching a good cartoon. I think anybody should. There's nothing really different between that and live action. The reason why this is not a live action film, it could not be done in live action at the time. It would cost way too much money. The flaw of cutting corners is save a hunk of cash in the 80s. And they did that. So Filmation was amazing with this.
What you're saying, it sounds a little like there was I think it was a Duran Duran music video that came out. Is it kind of like that? Where it's like a drawing comes to life?
No, you're talking about Aha.
Oh, whatever it was. I don't remember. The girl gets pulled into the...
Yes.
Okay. So it's like that?
It's not quite like that. You'll see some similar movements, but I want to say that was maybe done with rotoscope. I haven't researched. I know what song, and everybody in the
chat. My head, and I'm like, I just cannot. You're gonna have to send me something on Discord so I can see it. Give me the trailer. Send me the trailer in Discord if you don't mind.
Take on me. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That song. It's like that, kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Like that, something darkly or something. What was that one?
Inner Darkly is different. That's using cell shaded animation.
Okay. I haven't seen that either, so
it's okay. It's the worst. To me, that's the worst of the Philip K. Dick translations to film that I've seen, and I've not seen all of them. But that's the worst. And I hate to say that, but I say I'm going to watch it, and I get halfway in and I'm creating D&D characters or I'm painting miniatures.
Well, you enjoy that. You should enjoy it. You should get to do it.
I haven't done that a whole lot during today either. I wish I had. The second video by Steve Barron is more widely recognized. Yeah, aha, Take on Me. Let me I'll share this instead. So there was 2 videos. One was a different recording. The second video was by Steve Barron. It's more recognized. It's filmed in '85 at Kim's Cafe, now called the Turkish Chef Mediterranean Restaurant. And it's in London. They use this pencil sketch animation and live action combination called rotoscoping.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were. That's isn't that like the video right there?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that
Completely.
was interesting.
Yep, and
I've
little
not
Bucky
seen a movie
Bailey.
like that before.
Bucky Bailey, one of the hottest women of the '80s that nobody ever gave a shit about. She's
I have
adorable.
to see her because I'm terrible with names. I have a hard time remembering. No.
But Janet, so what's your score on this movie? I'm curious.
I would give it at least an 8 out of 10. I thought it was really, really good.
So you're saying at
Really
least
hard at 80%. Yeah. Because the script, I think the script was done well. I thought it was a good story. I thought it was interesting, fun. I laughed. I cried a couple times. It had romance in it. It had action. It had explosions. It had car chases. It had everything in it. And it had good stories, good character arcs. It had the scenery was just like Wind River. I just loved Wind River, and it got bumped up a few notches just because of the scenery. It was just beautiful. It kept you captivated into the scenes and stuff. I like that. And then I thought the editing was just phenomenal. Just like you said, when you were telling me different things about the different people, stunt doubles and things like that. And then the dummies, whatever, right? I thought was really good. I just thought that the direction was great. I mean, I just thought it was really good. I just thought it was very well done, very tasteful. The love scene, even though it was hot, just like I said, I was like, woohoo. I did go to the gym after this when I'm done, because I am going to go to the gym after I'm finished. But the thing is, I thought it was very well done. I thought it was a very, very good, well-made movie. And I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. And I'd watch it again. I've seen it I think 5 times now. So I still watch it.
I'm probably not going to watch it.
And I still got teary-eyed and everything. But that's okay. I mean, I'm not going to watch Terror Train again and some of the other ones. That's
okay. I'm not taking offense to that. I didn't make them.
I'm saying it doesn't hurt my feelings that it wasn't up your alley, but I still thought it was a really good movie for mothers.
I wanted to like it, and I did mostly
you liked it more than you did the cowgirl movie. Because I heard you laughing.
Bad Girls. If I could rate that today, if I'd watched that movie, I would rate it at probably about a 40. Because I just don't find it to be an enjoyable film. I find
you didn't like the way they held the guns. There was so many different things in it.
So many things about the movie, just absolutely 1 star. And there's a few parts of the cinematography which is good, but the movie is basically a 40% for me, and I'm pretty okay with that. I hate being a complete and total dick on things, but if I could go back, I would.
If we both always liked everything, well, how boring would that be?
Oh my God, super boring.
Yeah, so I don't want you to do that. I like you picking movies I haven't seen, and I like seeing things I haven't, that I've never experienced before. And this next week, I'm going to get to see another movie that I've never seen. So I'm excited about it. I never saw Rock-a-Doodle. And I thought it was great. I loved it. I thought it was a very good
movie. That being what it was, that's a really good film. I'm going to rate this movie a 50. Exactly. I'm a better dick than an asshole. I just want to fuck everything. I don't like shitting on everywhere. Anyway,
that's fine.
There's 3 types of people.
I still love it. I thought it was very, very well done. Overall for everything. And the actor that played the detective. What was his name again? That played the Arkansas detective. I'm trying to find his name. Something Harvey or something. Keitel or whatever.
Hal. You're talking about Hal.
Yeah, is he the guy that was from Arkansas? The detective that was wanting to run after the car because he didn't want them to kill themselves. Okay, that actor. The scene, my favorite scene with him is the scene he's in there when he asked to be alone with Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes his hat off and he just starts beating them over the head with it because he knows, because he took that money from them. That was the only reason they even robbed that store. Because everything he'd learned up to then by talking to the one waitress and stuff, he knew these two girls. They went to her house. He knew that these people were not born criminals. They're just not people that's going to go out and hurt people for no reason, you know. And he knew that. And these girls had gotten in some bad situations and they didn't know how to get out of it. And they were digging the hole bigger and bigger because they were making bad mistakes to try to cover the mistake they made. And he felt bad for them, but he had feelings for them. And I like that. I like the fact that they let a police officer, a detective in a movie, actually be a good guy. He was fighting for them. He was trying to find the facts, get the truth. And I like that. And that was nice to see that in a movie. Just little things like that is why I'm giving it an 80, because I thought it was good.
Okay.
And he got really ticked off at Brad Pitt because he knew Brad Pitt was a scumbag, and he played those girls, and he took their money.
I don't like movies where people make worse decisions than I have in my life. I watch movies to escape and to have a good time with. I watch YouTube videos for fails because they're short, and I only invest 6 minutes to watch a trucker completely slide down a hill with his brakes engaged, and it's icy in Russia. That's why I watch fail videos like that. But I don't watch movies to watch people make worse decisions than me in my life. And the movie White Men Can't Jump pissed me off.
The thing is, you were cheering when she shot the guy because he was a scumbag. He deserved to get shot.
Scumbag.
Okay, well, see, what I'm saying is,
he wasn't.
The thing is, it's a movie. It's a script, okay, that was written as a story, and somebody read it and liked the story and wanted to tell it, which is the director. Because if the director doesn't want to film it, he's not going to ask, "Hey, I want to film this movie."
I didn't like the movie that was in my head that I thought this movie was going to be is not what I was given to watch. I wanted the movie to end after the car had flung off the cliff, yeeted itself to the canyon, explode. I wanted to see explosion. I wanted the explosion. You did really good with the tanker truck exploding. Let me see the fucking car explode. And then let me see Max and Hal scream at each other and be men for 4 minutes. Let me have that, because I think there was something missing. This just ended on such a shit note that I'm giving this movie.
I read that to you too. That they decided to do that because they just didn't think that that people were ready to see two women go off a cliff and slam into the Great Canyon. I
want it. I'm a dick. I'm okay.
Yeah, maybe they would do it different today, but in 1991, they just didn't feel people were ready for that.
I was okay with it, even with Gina Davis being my sweetheart. I was okay with it because she was not long after this, I think, or like right around or right before. She was in The Fly. She was in The Fly, and she was a regular girlfriend of mine every night for 5 or 6 minutes, and that she was hot.
And she was in that other one, Earth Girls Are Easy. Yeah, she was in that too.
But I liked her better in The Fly. I think she was a better character in The Fly. I liked her. I stayed away from a lot of teen movies. Only whenever I started hanging out with you and Nick did I start watching more.
Telling me that Meat Train wasn't a teen movie. Come on.
That is not a teen movie. When you watch somebody get their liver ripped out by a flesh-eating cannibal.
Well, I have to admit though, the scene in the train with the kung fu girl with the skirt on, the school marm little girl kicking their ass, that was a freaking great scene. That was one of the best scenes I've seen.
Which movie?
The one Terror Train. Yeah. No, the Terror Train.
Oh yeah, when he
remember when she kicks her ass in the train? Yeah, man, that was freaking awesome. That was a great scene. That was the best scene in the whole movie.
I love that movie, but we disagree on it, and that's okay. I don't want to have like we've already discussed. You know, we don't need to agree on everything, but
no, I know.
don't feel this movie like there's there's parts of this movie I really truly enjoy. About maybe a quarter of it or less.
Mhm.
But I'm not into this movie at all, and it'll never grace my TV that I'm watching, and it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine if you never see it again.
I think that if you watch this movie
I own this
and you
movie,
enjoy
so
it, that's great. Dracula Gina Davis is almost as good as Big Titty. Okay, you have me at.
she was a Dracula?
She's in Transylvania 5000.
I haven't seen that either.
We'll have to put that in for October because
Yeah, we'll have to put it in there.
I could
We had a slaughter
definitely use me
deal.
Gina Davis as Big Titty Goth Girl, or almost as that.
Yeah.
That sounds like almost Brad Pitt naked
She's
for
not
Janet.
really that big breasted.
No, she's not. She's kind of tiny. Maybe a B cup.
But she's very tall. She's like 5'10".
Well, she's tall. She's athletic. She was also an Olympic archer, which that was just something that kind of happened on a whim, and then all of a sudden they realized she's really good at it, and so they throw it at the Olympics, and she medals. I think she's really fucking good.
Yeah, she's very, very, very
She's
talented,
accomplished.
and she's very smart. She's very smart too, book smart.
Mm-hmm. She's book smart. She's pretty much almost the whole package if she wasn't a liberal.
Yeah, well, most Hollywood is. I hate to say that, but
yeah. Oh, she might be commie. I don't know.
Almost all of them are libs, or they don't say they're not, so because they don't want to be ostracized, so they just don't say anything.
I mean, if you're not Bruce Willis, you're not out there saying I'm a fucking Republican, and that's
he didn't really brag until after he was famous. You know what I'm saying? Once they became famous and they know that they're going to make money, whether they say it or not, then they're brave enough to say it. But most people that are conservative just don't say anything. They just get their trap shut and they just do their job and go home, get their check because they want to work. So they just don't say anything. Well, maybe one day if we can get some decent companies to start, movie companies that are conservative or family oriented, where they'll make movies, because I think they're making a.
Hold on. Let's not bypass a few things here. What? You already have the Blaze Media Company, and they're trying to get into it.
I'm talking about movies.
You have the Daily Wire, which they just released Mr. Burcham.
I haven't seen that yet.
Neither have I. We'll have to watch it.
We watched that Lady Ballers, and I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't the best, but I laughed when I saw it. It was really funny. So,
but the Daily Wire,
the better it's going to get.
Mm-hmm. The Daily Wire's got Mr. Burcham. They've got Lady Ballers. They've got a few other entertainment shows. They've got a Gina Carano movie.
Yeah,
and
I haven't seen
they've got a studio, and they're trying to make good quality films. Now, mind you, if you watch the Gina Carano movie Terror on Prairie, you're not going to be getting something from Shakespeare. You're getting an action movie with Gina Carano in it. And if you don't like that, if you want Shakespeare, then go watch your fucking PBS and enjoy that. But I want to see explosions. Fuck, give me Golden Globalists as a Canon Film Group, and I'll be happy because I see exploding cars and shitty fights.
So, do you know anyone or any people, personally that are that work for any of these conservative companies?
Angel Studios. I don't know them personally, but we could reach out to them.
You have to have. There's many screenwriters out here that write conservative type stories, and if they could get a list, if we could get a list somehow, put it out there and say, hey, this is where you sign up to put your scripts in, and they might like them if they're conservative, family oriented, that type of scripts,
but
that way they go all the way around.
There's work out there for conservatives if they want to go get it. You have Kelsey Grammer. He's still employed. He's not super employed. James Woods isn't blacklisted as much as everybody says. I think he's able to go out and do stuff still.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still like him. if you're working on Family Guy, you're still employable in Hollywood. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Seth is just an amazing human, even though he's a liberal piece of shit in his politics. He understands the value of good talent, which is why he employed Rush Limbaugh. It's why he puts James Woods on his cartoon. It's why he does things like that, because he knows he can get quality work out of them and make a product that you want to watch and rewatch. Just like The Orville, which is an amazing sci-fi show, and it's written by a liberal, yes, but there's a completely political diverse cast on there, not including the diversity itself, but the people that are there, not all of them are libs. I don't see all these people going out there and pulling the lever for Biden. They're not.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Susan Sarandon may be very liberal and make dumb choices when it comes to voting and not thinking about people that make, a third of the amount of money she makes every year. That's what they make for their whole year, is a third of what she makes. And she doesn't think about their needs. Okay. That's on her. That just shows me that she's a person that I probably wouldn't want to be best friends with. But just because she's that stupid when it comes to that doesn't mean I don't think she's a good actress and that she can't play a role, which, I think she can. I don't like, what's his name, that guy, that Christian Bale guy. I think he sucks, but I love the movie The Prestige, but I don't like him. Personally, I would not want to walk up and shake his hand or anything. I wouldn't want, I have no interest in that. But I also know a few conservative people that say they're conservative, but when you see them in certain situations, it's like, I'm not going to run over and shake their hand either or get their autograph. Now, see, that's a woman that I would definitely want to meet and shake her hand, because I think she's got everything.
I think she's amazing. I really hope she stops worrying about her acting career and just starts making kids, because she's 40. And if she waits too long,
to have a husband first. I mean, she's got to have somebody she wants to have a family with before.
I'm pretty certain she could have that anywhere she goes.
Well, I know, but anybody will sleep with anybody. But you want to fall in love with someone, and I hope that she falls in love with someone, and that someone falls in love with her and wants to give her a happy life, and that's what she deserves. She's a good person.
That's appropriately womanly enough for most men, right there. Yeah, giggity. We've kind of exhausted this movie. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the discussion we had about Thelma and Louise today, even though I dissented on the positive aspects of the film. There is a lot of this movie that it gets right.
Like it.
There's some things that are out there, like if you hear people say it's a feminist movie, it really isn't, because you've got some serious masculine actors in here that are properly portraying masculinity as it should be, and that would be Jimmy, played by Michael Madsen. That would be Hal, played by Harvey Keitel. And those two guys are the voices of stability, trying to have a good order to life and bring these women home and bring them some sanity amid all the chaos that they both have created. This is not a great film, in my opinion. There's better movies out there.
Yeah,
but
there are. It's not the best movie I've ever seen.
This is not the low point for Ridley Scott. For me, that would be Napoleon. Don't see Napoleon, kids. I'm glad.
Is Napoleon the one with the guy that's in the Joker movie?
It's Joaquin Phoenix is in it, and I haven't seen that. The movie skips over so much stuff, and it's not even a proper film. It's very loose. It doesn't have proper time spacing. Doesn't tell you, like, between this scene and the scene how many years change, how the years have passed. It's a shit film. I've never said that about a Ridley Scott movie before ever in my life, up until the final 2 minutes of this movie here, when the fucking screen faded to white and the car's hovering in midair, and they just pause it, and in credits play this.
When they show flashbacks, because you knew that when they went off the cliff that it was over. They didn't have to show you them all mangled at the bottom. They just showed you flashbacks of their lives.
I don't need to see the mangled bodies. Just show me the explosion. It doesn't show the car hit the ground, but have an explosion as Harvey Keitel's running to the edge of the canyon wall, and then he comes back and screams like a fucking man would at fucking pile of shit Max, and they have their man fight right there as the fucking script is, or the end credits are rolling past, because in all honesty, that's what a man would do. And that should be how those two would be remembered, for causing a fucking battery at the edge of the canyon. Because one guy's like, I could have tried to fix the situation, but you had to stick your dick in it and fuck it up. And that's exactly this entire movie is one consistent fuck up from the start to end. No offense, but Gina Davis's husband, he's pretty much the impetus for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I don't even know why fucking Susan Sarandon's character was unhappy with life. Like, I'm sorry that
I already told you the trauma, whatever happened to her in Texas, okay, is what put her in the position she was. But the thing is, she was still living her life normally, going to work, paying her bills, cleaning her house, as you saw, which she was very neat and tidy. It wasn't until she walked out in the parking lot and saw her best friend being raped, that's when her whole life changed. And she pulled that gun out that happened to be in her purse because Gina wanted to bring it. So when she shot the guy, her life went spiraling out of control. That was her trigger. Okay. It is like it would be for you or anyone else who had something bad that had happened to them. If you walked out and you saw your sister or your mom or whatever being assaulted, you would snap too. Okay. That's basically what they were trying to show, is that in normal people, two normal women, one's married to a frumpy housewife and the other one is just a waitress, and she's neat and tidy and does all this stuff, and she's had a few relationships or whatever, that their lives were changed because one made a dumb choice to go outside with a guy and she was drunk and he was a scumbag and he started to rape her, and her best friend happened to come outside looking for her because she couldn't find her. And she pulled that gun out and snapped and shot him right in the chest because he was a dickhead and he was an ass. So she snapped and shot him, and it changed everything. It wasn't anything they planned. Do you think if she was planning on killing someone, she would use your credit card at the bar? No. You know,
I completely didn't even pay attention to that until I'm like, wait, how the fuck does he know where she lives? And you're like,
well, they were just on vacation. They were, to them, they were just going to eat, get a few drinks, listen to music, and then go to the cabin. That was what they were planning on doing, but they never got to do it because their whole life spiraled out of control after that.
This movie could have been a lot better, in my opinion. There's some aspects of it. It's really nothing in the performances of the actors. I despise the script.
You just didn't like the story.
I didn't. And I mean, that happens,
Like it.
I didn't like the script for fucking Bachelor Party either. I mean, all the tertiary
I've
characters.
never seen that movie, so
Tawny Katane and Tom Hanks are two of the most forgettable leads I've ever seen in my life. Like, if I want to watch ice melt, I would have more fun watching ice melt than watch those two featurettes of the movie. The rest of the movie's fine. The donkey's fine. The characters around them are fine. But fuck Tom Hanks and fuck Tawny Katane. Thank God, if that's how she acted, I'm glad she's not making films anymore. I know that's a harsh fucking statement, but I don't give a shit. I didn't think Whitesnake was that good anyway. Oh, did I say that aloud?
I don't know. What are you talking about? Oh, that actress that was the girlfriend in that music video. She's in that movie?
Yeah.
Okay, because when you said the name, I was like, why does that sound familiar? She's a model or something, right?
Boring ass fucking slag. Did I not make my?
She wasn't married to that guy for very long from Whitesnake either, I don't think. So
she wasn't affiliated with him, and she pretty much was.
I thought she was married to him.
I thought she was a fast and loose girl, and she
wasn't married to the lead singer from Whitesnake.
She was involved with David Copperfield or whatever, Coverdale, but she wasn't. I don't think it was a long-term thing. And I just remember after hearing that he was brokenhearted about something going on between them, basically I was like, well, I didn't like him anyway, and I didn't like Whitesnake because the lead singer kept bitching that we're not as. It really hurts my feelings that we're not being loved as much on the radio as Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And I just thought, like, the disconnect here is really bad. You suck. You're not anywhere near Led Zeppelin, and she just, she was involved with Coverdale in '89, then they divorced in '91, and then she married some crappy baseball baller for about 5 years, and she had more kids, and she was charged with domestic violence. I remember that.
Yeah, it seems funny. Lots and lots of singers, like what was his the We Never Start Your Fire or whatever, that guy, Billy Joel, he married a model. And then you have Levin, what's his name? Something Levin.
No idea.
From Maroon 5. What's Levine or whatever his name is from Maroon 5? Moves like Jagger guy.
I don't care about Maroon 5. They're modern music. Okay.
They marry all these models, these runway models and magazine models and stuff. So I guess they're
I don't
models.
really know who these people are. You're Adam
or
Levine.
Playboy bunnies. But now we don't have Playboy anymore, right? There's no Playboy magazine.
Yeah, I mean they do, but they get all their swimwear from fucking the tuck friendly section of Target.
That's right. They had a transgender on there not very long ago. See, that's what I told you guys. I feel sorry for you guys, because if you want to, if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, you can go in and have some ribs removed, have your Adam's apple shaved off, have some boobs put in, tuck your wee because most of them don't want to have the surgery where it's pulled up inside of their body, their wee, and make a vajayjay for them. But I'm telling you, I feel sorry for you guys. You guys are going to have to start doing DNA tests just when you're dating. If you think they're hot and good looking and they're perfect all the time, it's probably because they're got a lot of cosmetic surgery to put everything where it belongs or make it look like it does. And you won't find out until later on if they still have the other part, or they had it turned inside out, that they can have kids, because they're definitely not going to be able to give birth because they don't have,
Dragon's a good
don't have all the plumbing.
After spinning in his grave.
Yeah. It's easy for me though, because I've seen the documentaries, the surgeries for the woman to become a man, and they take skin off their legs and things like that to make a wee for them. So it's kind of, when it's a Frankenwiener, you're going to pretty much know that was a man-made one. And plus it doesn't grow the same way and stuff. So what is this? Is this somebody
is the state of Hollywood today?
He's going to get on the tracks, get hit by a train?
Yep.
What a dumb.
This is the state of Hollywood films today, and here we are with bailing out. Maybe there's too much money.
Why didn't he back up?
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, but he didn't want to damage the cross guard, not realizing that this would happen in the interim if he didn't do anything. But that's just modern state of Hollywood right fucking now, guys.
He knew something was going to happen because he wasn't sitting his ass in the truck waiting for it to come by. You know what I mean? So he knew it was going to get hit because he got out and ran.
Well, these Hollywood dum-dums are ruining everything. These cultural Marxists have ruined everything. They're cultural termites, and they've gotten into the foundations of everything we loved. And nowadays, we're just given all these examples of things that we should love, and we try to watch it, and no, you're ruining Strawberry Shortcake. Strawberry Shortcake doesn't have a penis. No, we don't want to see the adventures of G.I. Joe and Duke and Flint.
See that right there that you're showing? That's not that trucker's fault. Look at that pole. See how it's leaning?
Yeah.
So the lines are down because the pole's falling over, not the truck driver's fault.
This is all off of a guy's channel named Bonehead Truckers. Oh, let me get the link here for you. But Bonehead Truckers is one of the best trucking fail.
Yeah, I need to go to that. Some of these dum-dums. Oh no, I could see that. What's the guy doing?
He's not thinking. That's all there is to it.
The guy driving did great.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, he had a tire explode.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Thing.
But
can't do nothing about that.
Nope.
I've had that happen to me. Remember, I told you I was in my little Kia Soul, and something flew out from underneath the semi that I was passing on the left, and it went right under my front tire. And I tried to swerve, towards the median, but I couldn't get away fast enough. And I heard that, because my tire exploded. And so I just worked my way over to the right, got out, got my stuff out to change the tire, and I got it all changed and everything. And then I realized the back tire was flat too. So I had 2 flats. I was like, fuck. But they handled really well. That little Soul didn't swerve or anything. So it was a good little car. I liked it. But I had to call someone to help me anyways because I didn't have an extra spare for the back tire. But it was funny because he was shocked. He said that he's picked up many men that didn't know how to change a tire. So I was like, well, my mama made us girls know how to do it. So I can change the
Post
tire.
something in the chat just to reply to Flady real quick because it's kind of lengthy. But in 91, 93, David Coverdale joined a White Snake hiatus. He collaborates with Jimmy Page, and Coverdale Page album was received platinum. And 97 studio album Restless Heart was initially intended to be released as a solo, but it was released under moniker David Coverdale and Whitesnake. He went to third studio album called Into the Light. Yeah, a real man goes down to the ship, or in this case, a truck. Exactly. Stay in the cab and suffer your punishment.
Yeah, take it like a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, what a
You're
dork.
gonna fucking out. I don't want you being employed again.
If I pulled on the track and I realized I'm not going to be able to get across, I'd start backing up. I mean, there'd be smoke coming from my back tire because I'd be going as fast as I could to back up.
But
to me, I don't understand. But I guess semis are hard to back up or something, so he didn't do it.
Grandpa music.
What does that mean?
Papa Cotton says this is talking about grandpa music now. I don't listen to Whitesnake. I hate that band. I hated them whenever they were cool, and I'm okay with it. Like I said, this was a video we talked about, a movie called...
I don't know one song, I think. That one song, that's it. The one that his girlfriend was in. That's the only song I even know by them that was on the radio, whatever the name of that was. Can't remember. But I remember the music video. She was really, really pretty.
She was in Still of the Night and This Is Love and Here I Go Again, all 1987.
Yeah, Here I Go Again. That's the only one I even remember by them.
Yeah, I remember Still of the Night because of the drum roll, but it's not that memorable.
I mean, I like Fits and the Tantrums, stuff like that. I don't think you guys even know who they are. I put them in my music room all the time on Discord. The kind of stuff I like.
Okay.
The Wallflower.
Appreciate everybody being here today. We have 176 of you watching, probably from Twitter and from YouTube and parts of Rumble. Thank you one and all for being here. Me and Janet scoring this movie at an 8 out of 10, and me having my autism come out and rating it a fucking 50.
Oh, that's okay. You can't like everything.
No, you really can't.
What did I rate your movie, your Terror Train? What I give it?
60.
Yeah, 60, I think, something.
Yeah.
So see, and you didn't hate me for that. So
no, I didn't.
I'll let you be yourself. I want you to be you.
I think I rated that movie like an 80. Now I drop it to a 78.
Yeah. Do you think your parents watched this movie?
My parents would never watch Thelma and Louise. They hate Susan Sarandon.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's like my mom would not watch a single movie with what's her face, the woman that she called her Hanoi Jane.
Oh, Jane Fonda.
Yeah, my mom wouldn't watch anything with Jane Fonda.
That's my mother. My mom and your mom would be having a good time talking about that.
Yeah, I sure miss my mom. She would love watching this show, and she'd be in the chat and just talking your head off if she was here, if she was still alive. But yeah, she was a great person.
I don't know if you guys have seen this. I have to, before I turn this off, I want to get hopefully I can show this. Women scream for mental health. And
well, Papa Cotton says, to be fair, Jane Fonda movies suck. But the thing is that she made bank off of her workout videos. So lots of people like to drool over her working out, apparently. So she made a lot of money off of it. And she sold a whole line of clothing and stuff for her workout clothes. So.
Lady just put something in the chat on Discord about women screaming for mental health. And
Screaming.
Oh my God, you got to be kidding.
Association invited people to this screaming booth in Austin to reduce.
okay, it's in Austin, Texas. That's all I'm going to show you. That's all you need to know.
See, and people say, Texas will never be blue. Well, guess what? It's flaming purple right now.
Purple right now.
Yeah.
We're trying to get it blue. 28th, guys. Make sure everybody votes for Texas District 23, Brandon Herrera, because we need him in, not Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez is a failed politician. Like every other politician, he makes promises, can't keep. Brandon Herrera is a YouTuber that promised us 9 or 8 years ago that he was going to build an AK.
Is he the one that you got me to watch their video when they were in Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd vote for him if I was in Texas. He seemed like a lot of fun. Nice guy. Down to earth kind of person.
Yeah, he's very down to earth.
So, yeah, I'd vote for him.
I agree with that, Flady. God, just B grade black dog. Henry and Bridget, the only Fonda movies I could stomach. Happy Mother's Day, Janet. Says Chris.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Richard Simmons, he screamed a lot. Give this a -1,000 out of 5. With me on 6th Street. It's on 7th Street, I bet.
Has Lady ever picked a movie for us?
He has lots.
Which ones?
There's been a few movies like
No,
he
I'm
did.
trying to remember which ones. I'm gonna see if
Bugsy Malone is the first.
Okay, yeah, I liked it. That was a good one. Pretty much all the family-friendly movies that you've ever watched with me are Flady films. Okay.
Flady has done that.
Did he ever come up here with us?
Yeah, he has, and he got in trouble with it at his job because apparently somebody was
Oh,
watching
that's right. I remember that one time. That was
it. We can't really have him talking politics because heaven forbid somebody gets her fucking.
But see, I need to have Flady on my channel then.
Oh yeah, because that'll go over great on Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night shit shows. I mean, I need whoever wants to sign up, go to my Discord and send me a message, and I'll schedule you in because I would like to have some, couple new guests on there if they want to be on there. And Thursday night I had the team shit show. But if you have something like Flady's got some stuff that he wants to talk about that he thinks can go an hour. I love talking, so I can pretty much talk about anything.
Anybody want to pull Janice cord? There's their Discord right there.
Get on my Discord, send me a message and say, hey, I want to talk about this fucked up whatever crap. Even if it's not politics. Thursday night I'm doing it, about movies, gaming, art, whatever it is, or health, whatever it is that you got a topic on. Last week was about those pedophile dolls that are being made in Japan, and we got a Kentucky senator or congressman or whoever, I don't remember, I have to go back and look at her, but she was saying that we need to supply these pedophile dolls for pedophiles so they won't rape kids. But they look lifelike. These are lifelike, like sex dolls.
I'm pretty okay with not.
I know, isn't it sick? But I had Brandy from it's just Shepherd's Watch. You've heard of them, right, in Texas? They're a group that they're undercover, most of them, to break into these child sex trafficking rings and get these people rounded up. Like what you saw for that movie that came out, The Sound of Freedom. Those type of people.
Okay.
But she's in the part where they raise money and do different things to try to keep these people safe. And they tell you what to do. Like, do not approach someone if you think that this child's been trafficked. Call the police. Do not approach because they could hurt the kid. Stuff like that. So she was on my show last week. So she's a really good person fighting for children. You know how I feel about that stuff. But yeah, she's wonderful. So I was able to get her on because Jennifer was going to be on the show and Jennifer wasn't feeling good. So I was last minute going, hey, anybody want to be on the show? I was trying to find somebody because here's my topic. But Blood of Dracula. Oh, that's right. That movie was not very good.
I like that movie.
Forrest was good and Bugsy was good.
Yeah, I like Blood of Dracula. It's okay.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't the best.
I'm trying to save my pension.
Hey, I want you to save your pension. That's great. But see what? If you're on my show, we won't say you're Flady. We'll change your name to Tom Jones or something.
Yep. Tom Jones join us.
We'll just make you into a different persona.
Yep,
like
and we'll have a different I'll let you borrow my pog of Joe Biden. That way nobody will think it's you.
Yeah, you can even wear a mask or whatever. Or you don't even have to be on camera. Just be an avatar, make it up one. But if you got some good stuff that you want to share with people, I mean, I'm all for that. I think everybody should have the opportunity to get information and let them look for themselves, whether they want to believe it or not.
And remember, kids, the best part of this movie is the sex scene with Julie Strain and Brad Pitt's body double. Have fun with that.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Pretty good.
Janet, you want to let us out for the night?
I don't know. What do you want to say? Oh, I was going to say thank you, everyone, for showing up, hanging out with us, and tune in on Thursday night for Teen Shit Show 2.0 at 8 p.m. Central Time on my channel. And Friday night is a Friday Night Shit Show, and we start at 9:10 Central Time.
Okay.
That's what I have coming up on my stuff.
I will be resuming my tabletop game streams on the 25th. Right now, I'm in the middle of writing some things and getting it to where I will be able to make a soft copy that can be printed into hard copies for my players so they can know what they're doing for their game and for their character. So I am taking 2 weeks off contributing to that. But my name's Bruce. And if you like what we do here, go ahead, check out Janet at her patreon.com. She's got Janet from the Planet Patreon. And is that Friday night shit show?
Oh, I forgot the F. Friday night. I didn't copy the F. Sorry.
Okay.
Friday Night Shit Show. That's my email I set up for it. So if you have any interesting topics or things that you think we should talk about, send me an email and say, hey, I heard about this. Because I've had a few people send me some links. There's a couple of them have been pretty good. So I'm looking into some of the stuff.
Janet, as a man with a unrepressed sex drive, I must say that if you wear your hair like this all the time, you're going to have like 300 people
too
watching.
kinky, do I mean, it's humid here. I mean, you walk outside and your my hair just kinks up, no matter how much straightness I do. It's a pain in the ass to brush or anything, so it sucks. But thank you, I appreciate it. Some people like curly hair and other people don't.
Really good.
But most people like me when I'm wearing the blonde wigs. So
the wife made a mention that much is like what he's posted here. She's like, is that Janet's hair? I said, I think it is.
yeah, I told you I've got naturally curly hair, but it's all right. I did the best I can when I can, but I had a scarf on. I wasn't going to take it off because I was going to wear it for because you remember she's wearing one at the very beginning because she was prim and proper before she got all dirty.
No, you're not Jewish or Muslim. You don't have to do that to us.
See, like this, and I had glasses.
Okay. Well, kids, that was the end of today's show. We'll see you next week for a girl, a guy, and a movie for Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
Make sure you swing in, and I'll have a nicer reaction to that film. I promise you. Thank you so much.
I hope. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Lady. Have a good night, all.
Bye-bye.